Hi, I'm David Packouz from War Dogs Academy, and these are the 5 biggest mistakes to avoid in government contracting. First, not reading the solicitation in full. The solicitation is a document that the government posts on their website describing all the things that they want to buy or the service that they want to buy. These documents can be long, they could be boring, they could be 100 pages plus. It is critical that you read the entire thing because on page 76, you may see a little clause that may change the entire course of your work on this solicitation. For example, when buying clothing, the government has certain regulations of what percentage of the material that goes into the clothing needs to come from the United States, how much of the manufacturing needs to be done in the United States, and things of that nature. Sometimes they have regulations about the type of transportation you could use. All these regulations and requirements can be buried anywhere in the solicitation. So it's very important that you read the whole thing. As you get better at reading solicitations, you're going to start noticing the boilerplate. You're going to notice the things that they have in common. You'll be like, oh, okay, I've read this part before. So you'll get faster at it. You'll get better at it. But you definitely need to read the whole thing, because if you don't, you could miss one critical thing that will make you lose the contract, or even worse, make you win the contract and make you unable to deliver on it in the way that you are contractually obligated to do. And then you can get into some serious trouble, and you don't want to do that. The second big mistake that you need to avoid doing government contracting is neglecting documentation. The government requires a lot of documents, and they're very, very particular about getting those documents in the format that they need. Because if they don't, their superior is going to get them in trouble. And they're not going to take a hit for you. So you need to make sure that you are not going to get the contracting officer in trouble, because they're not going to allow you to do that. And you're going to fail in your solicitation if you don't provide every single document the solicitation says you need to provide when you are submitting the bid. For example, if they require documentation proving the origin of a particular item that you are supplying, and you don't provide that document, you are automatically disqualified. And all that work that you put in to find the supplier, to find the logistics, to figure out what the best combination of source and logistics and working out the financing and all that, it will all go in the trash because you didn't provide that one stupid document that the government said you needed to provide. So it's very critical that you provide every document in the format that they require it to the government when you submit your bid. The third big mistake is not keeping a record of every interaction that you have with the government. So you may talk on the phone with a contracting officer, and they may say, yeah, if you submit it in that format, it's fine, no problem. Or, yes, this source of supply is acceptable. But if it's just over the phone and you don't get that in writing, it's as if it never happened. Because down the line, they may forget that they told you that. Or maybe they get moved to a different department and now you're talking to someone brand new and they're going to be like, they shouldn't have given you that exception. In fact, I'm not sure that they did. But if they put it in writing, then that commits them to that decision. And then you have a defensible proof that the government told you something and you are going according to the government's directions, and that will protect you from getting in trouble down the line. The fourth big mistake you can make in government contracting is not vetting your subcontractors. Now, most government contractors are not supplying the product themselves. They're not manufacturing the product themselves, or they're not providing the service themselves. They are hiring subcontractors to do it for them. And this is very normal and expected. But you are only as strong as your subcontractors. So if you hire someone who is unreliable, then you are unreliable. If you get a source that provides you bad product, you are delivering bad product, and the government doesn't care if it's somebody else's fault because it's your responsibility. The contract is with you, not with your subcontractor. So you need to do your research and make sure that the subcontractor that you are using is going to serve you well and going to allow you to deliver on that contract successfully. For example, my partners in War Dogs Academy, they hired a laundry company to do some laundry services for them, but at the last second, that laundry company decided that they didn't want to do the job. So they had to scramble and find someone else. And at the last second, they managed to do it. But because they initially hired someone who was unreliable, they almost lost that contract. So you need to make sure that the people you hire are reliable. And the last major mistake, though there are many, many mistakes that you can make, is missing deadlines. The government is completely unforgiving on deadlines. If they tell you you need to do something by a certain date, you better do it by that date. It doesn't matter if you have the best product, the best service in the world at the best price. If you miss the submission deadline to submit a bid, or you miss the delivery deadline to deliver something, you're gonna be in big trouble. So do not miss the deadlines. Take them seriously. Always try to be early. If you're early, then you're much more likely to be on time. If you try to be on time, you're taking a risk that you might be late, and then the whole thing can go down the tubes and all your work goes to waste. Don't miss those deadlines. So those are my 5 biggest mistakes that you can make in government contracting. There are many other mistakes you can make, but that's why we created War Dogs Academy, is to make sure that those mistakes are kept to a minimum. Check out War Dogs Academy and subscribe to this channel for more information on government contracting and more advice like this. And see you in the next video.